NBA predictions, they can be horribly wrong or they can be spot on. But the best thing about them is that you can look back at them at the end of the season and see where the bar was set for players and teams. Take last season for example. If you told me that the Heat would be in the finals, I'd tell you to But what do I think? Well, straight away, let's get to the juicy ones. My MVP. I have Luka as my MVP, and here's why. Luka is already an MVP caliber player, but his team has never been good enough to land him in the conversation fully. The Mavs did an amazing job this offseason with additions of Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and last season's trade for Kyrie. He's got versatile players around him, so I think the Mavs will be a top 5 seed in the West this year, so that will help his case. On top of this, you also have his competition. 3 big threats are Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. Here's why I don't think they'll win it. Jokic is by far the most valuable player in the NBA in my opinion, but voters' fatigue will not favour him, even if he deserves the award like it did last season. The NBA will want someone new to hold the award. Giannis. Giannis again is arguably the best player in the NBA, but he now has Dame. This is no discredit to either player, but the addition of Dame may water down his numbers, and because we live in a time where people use stats instead of their eyes, this can hurt Giannis' case. Not to mention, he will also suffer from some form of voters' fatigue as he has won the MVP not too long ago. Finally, Embiid. Plain and simple, Embiid is great, but he's not up there with Giannis and Jokic. He got the MVP last year out of sympathy. People were worried that if he didn't win an MVP, that he would be looked at like a bum in the history books. Embiid had a great season last year, but both Jokic and Giannis were better, and that leads me onto the final point. Narrative. Whoever the NBA wants to win it will win it. They can manipulate the media, they can tell the story to favour certain players, yada yada yada. They can do what they want. Enough of the MVP, now let's talk about title contenders. There are a lot of teams who I can see winning it. Big hitters for me are the Bucks, Nuggets and Celtics. Every other team in my opinion are just contenders in the mix. I think we'll most likely see a Nuggets and Bucks final. The Bucks are a really well constructed team, and the Nuggets have pretty much their entire championship roster still intact. They did lose Bruce Brown, who is a very solid player for them, but I do think they'll be okay. My pick out of these two would be the Bucks, and here's why. The Bucks won't be able to stop Jokic, but they may be able to limit him, at least better than any other team in the league, because they have Giannis and Lopez. Giannis and Lopez are great defenders, and last time Jokic was faced with a great defensive big man was in 2020 against the Lakers, when AD was fully healthy and they had Dwight as a backup. They did not stop Jokic at all, but they limited him. In the Western Conference Finals, Jokic averaged 22, 7 and 5, which are great numbers, don't get me wrong, but they were all playoff lows for Jokic. The Bucks' ability to limit him defensively is what I believe gives them the edge, but it's nothing clear enough to call them champions right now. But in short, yes, I have the Bucks as my favourites, and it's not just because they have Dame now, trust me. Anyways, those are my predictions, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Love it, hate it, I want to hear it. That's going to do it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.